Dreams couldn't invoke a feeling as special as the one that I'm lucky enough to feel when I sit before and at a piano bench. There really aren't any words. It is a blessing of the highest magnitude. And if I had to put in what it feels like I cease to exist and I become one with music. That's what it feels like. There is something so unique about the universe you find yourself when listening to music. It's there's no language. That's what's so wonderful about it. There's no words. There's no boundaries. There's just the piano and then the two hands just dancing and competing with each other and adding to each other. It is so incredible how much I just lose myself when I play. I move and I dance and I bob my head, and it's like before I know it, I'm gone. What I love about music, and piano especially, is just the fact that I can cease to exist. I can lose who I am, just become one with the art. There's so much I can say about piano. It really is one of those undying loves, and the most important thing in my life by far. I never really was cut out to be a skateboarder or a Go player or an artist. I think, even if I died right now or, maybe hopefully an hour later, I would still think that I'm proud of my life. I would still think, I did what I was supposed to do. And that's the important thing is, whenever your time is up, that you can look back and know that you did the right thing. And I can know a great big part of my ability to turn all the negative energy to positive was from having music, because it gave me something to take all those bad things into, and just a modality that I could express them in. And it really is priceless. But the retrospective really does help me moving forward, because I can always internalize it and I can look at what I've been through and draw from it, right? I can take that and make that my paint and spread it on my canvas. I think the fact that I have been through so much has made my music that much better and made me a lot happier of a person, I think. I think that no matter what you go through, how beaten the path becomes or how scared and lonely you are, that there is always hope, In every moment, no matter how miserable it seems or how distraught you become or how empty you feel, there really is so much beauty in life. It's crazy how your perspective can really change just like that if you just look for the things that can bring you joy. And it's so important that humans can overcome their challenges, because that's what makes this life beautiful. And part of my life, my music, and my overcoming and what I hope to share, I think there is a general motif of showing the beauty that lies in suffering. I know one thing for certain is that madness exists inside all of us, whether we choose to acknowledge it or not. Some just wear it on their sleeves, and some have it tucked away in their pockets. But madness can do great and evil things at the same time. I think that being exposed to madness from my father at a young age definitely influenced me a lot. And I have been mad myself in some of the attempts I've taken, at my own life and the harm I've caused other people through hurting myself. And insanity really is one of the strongest parts of the human ego. And our psychology just wraps itself around this tight little circle and just keeps going. Before you know it, you've gone crazy. It's in all of us. It really is. I can tell a couple, but there's definitely one that I think was the most maddening. If I would contribute most to my failures in life, was that when I was, a very young boy, I think I was 10, after playing some video games, my dad wanted to take me somewhere, and he took me to an empty parking lot and threatened to kill me. And that was both a dualistic edge of just emotional and the threat of physical. And I remember being so scared. I will never forget sitting back there and tying my shoes so tight and wondering where the next fast food place was that was still open that I could run to. Deeply traumatic things like that really just take root of you. And it's just really unfortunate. I wish I never went through that because it really put a stall in my life. I made so many stupid decisions. I did so many dumb things. And worst of all, I focused on what wasn't important because of it, because I was so jaded. I was so into me and my problems and not other people. And that's really what it really all seems to stem from. The difference between good and evil is how much you focus on you or other people. And I hate to say that for a while, I was just so caught up in the bad within me that I couldn't see the good in other people or what I could give to them. I was in 8th grade at the time, and I remember being in school when they removed me. We had been back and forth between, just dealing with social services, and I was in my last class of the day, and so Mr. Bratton, you need to come to the office. And I was like, oh, I'm leaving early, what's going on? And I go there, and it's a big man there and some other agent. They're saying, yeah, we're gonna get your sister, you're in foster care now. And I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to my brother or my mom. And I still remember walking in that building not far from this location we're at now, and I remember being terrified. I had to meet 2 new parents, and I ended up living with them and ended up sleeping in 5 different beds in the whole 9 yards. I was just everywhere, and it was a very difficult time in my life. Definitely a lot of challenges, especially for a young boy that I was. I remember wanting so badly more than anything to just go back home. I mean, after the abuse that they put me through too, because I was abused by my foster family, and kind of how they left me hanging when I needed them most. Because I had one primary family I stayed with. I remember, after I had gotten kicked out of school and I was already doing, not that well, there was a day we were in church and, it's ridiculous. We had like a small dispute over, I think I was laughing too loudly. And I went to go find my foster parent, and one of the members of their family, this huge guy in the military, he kicked me to the ground and told me to stay there. And I remember crying about it and stuff in the car afterwards. And that was the day they put me in jail when I did 2 months in juvenile detention because no other family wanted me. One of the blessings about being in jail was it helped accelerate me getting back home to my mom and my dad. So I remember going back to, to Harrisonburg High School, and I remember, hey, I'm gonna put this in the rear view, and I'm gonna work really hard, and I'm gonna get into school like I've always wanted to. Everyone told me that I've, for some reason, been smart, and I wanted to make sure that I could pursue my education. So I worked really hard in high school, and I got a nice scholarship to my hometown university, and I graciously accepted that. So yeah, and I remember going through K through 12 in the Harrisonburg system and being really proud of my achievements and, playing sports for the school and making a lot of friends. So yeah, it's good looking back on those memories. I had, unfortunately, in the months prior to school, I had developed a very serious drinking problem. And I remember, if I had to put it, I think I drank more drinks than I attended classes that year, and I was just too upset to focus, I came to study and become a pharmacist because that's what my dad always wanted me to do. What a mistake that was, and I was just too busy, downing booze and not even partying, just staying home and drinking because I was so upset. The bubble of trauma had finally popped, and I couldn't deal with life anymore. I had too much baggage, and I wasted so much of my life drinking and being a fool, and just caring about making myself feel better in a way that hurt other people. I was an embarrassment, I really was. It was around springtime, and I remember they offered me and said, hey, you haven't done the best. You may rectify the situation, go to summer classes, and it'll all be, hunky-dory. And I was like, oh, great, I can do that. So I kind of cut back into drinking a little bit. And well, then another tragedy happened. I was, at home one day, and my dad had decided that I was no longer to be in his residence, even though I was about to start college classes again for summer, and that was when it all really just started going down the crapshoot. I couldn't go to class at all. I was too focused on where I was going to sleep. I remember this horrible occasion where I was begging my mom and dad if I could park the car in front of their house and sleep in it. That was one of those things it was terrible. It was so terrible. That summer was really a blur, being homeless. I don't remember all of it. I think my brain just shut off during parts of it. I remember Asbury. Yeah, it seemed like when I needed something most, Asbury sort of just fell into my lap. It was just on a whim that I came here, and ever since then, it really has made such a dramatic improvement to my life. Resilience takes many shapes and forms. I think that a lot of people just run out of road, right? But I think when that happens, you have to pave a new path. You have to find some way to just not give in, not give up, and give back to other people. I was on the brink of just falling away into nothingness before I came to Asbury, and just as the light shines through the building, it shined through my life, and it sort of just gave me the lifeblood I need to keep going, and that's something that I'll never, ever lose gratefulness for. Never. It really made me understand for once that it wasn't really about me. It was about what other people could do and what I could do for other people. So I am a realtor for Klein May Realty. I've been doing it to this day, I think around 2 years. And I aid residents with buying and selling properties, finding rentals, investments, things like that. And even just having a conversation about, hey, where are you at in this time of your life right now? What can I do to help? It's had a massive impact on how I just interact with people every single day. Like in every mode of my life, I always try to be helpful now because of it. With, piano still propelling me, it's like I can work hard in anything and find success, but, it's funny how those two things sort of ebb and flow and are still cut from the same cloth, where, I kind of blend my life with, it's funny, some people have called it a night and a day job. I think that's what it is. My day job is real estate. My night job is, a bumbling, stumbling musician. So as I'm hearing music in my head all day, it makes it easier to work, 50, 60 hours a week and say no to family gatherings and do all this marketing and the phone calls and the nonstop nature of work. That's just the nature of the beast. But, having it and being able to play it really helps decompress me. And, I do take time out of the day to still write, compose, and play for a bit. I've lived in other places and seen other parts of the country, and it seems like people up there are just too, uptight, uppity, and ready for the next big deal, and it's like they sort of miss out on the juice, Harrisonburg has a lot of that where we stick to the moment and we try to enjoy all the things we have now, and I think that's important. We are in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley, about 2.5-ish maybe hours from Washington, D.C., and we're right next to the ridge, man. We're in a beautiful spot next to right around James Madison University. Take 81, you can't miss it. It's the only thing for miles around, so just make sure you stop by if you can and say hello and shake some hands and wave to people. It's a great place to visit and an even better place to live. I love spending time with the people in this community that make it so great, whether it be my family, my friends, my pastor, anyone else. It's a great place to be. I can find all the joys and happiness of life within this city, and I want to grow with it. So if you have a hometown, you should be very grateful for that, and you should try making it a better place, because when you are born and raised in a place, or I've lived there for so long, from youth till you're old and wrinkly, you have almost a responsibility to make that place better than you found it. And that's what I try to do for Harrisonburg. And if people could see that, they understand, maybe I don't need to move halfway across the world or move to California to pursue this and start my law firm. It's like maybe I can be here with my family and I can pursue really what matters most. And even the overarching reason why humans really gather together, so they can form like a safety net, something to catch you when you're falling. And I think that Harrisonburg is a perfect example of that, because whenever I was in a bad place, people were able to sort of catch me when I was falling and slipping from the line. And Humans yearn so much for that. We want to be loved and respected and cared for by other people, and it's hard to find that in a place. It really is. So many cities and so many towns may be full of mean people or spiteful folk, and Harrisonburg is not that. It is so nice to know that we really have a neighborly feel to this place amongst the neighborhoods and amongst the townsfolk and amongst all the people that reside here. I think the most important thing is to turn the switch, right? Flick the dial and understand that you can actually receive so much joy from helping other people. People always try to say, is the glass half empty or half full? It's like, it's not even the question. I think it's more important to work, how much are you filling other people's glasses? What are you doing for other people? So I think being interested in other people and their endeavors and their stories and, and their jokes and, uplifting others is very important, whether it be conversationally, through business, volunteering somewhere, even just the small things, gifts for a friend, calling someone up, there's an infinite amount of ways you can actually get back to other people. Here's the good news, folks. It's not and never will be too late to change your life. No matter what you've done or how bad you think you've been or how bad others think of you, it's never too late. You can always make your life better. There's not a point of no return. If you look inside and find the truth within all of us, if you ditch the external and look inside, you can really find boundless levels of peace. You can find love, and I'm not saying I know all the answers, but I definitely know where to look. Oh my goodness. My past is truly the bedrock of why I'm so grateful for every single moment today, because I know what it's like to have nothing and come from emptiness and stare in its face. So, it's like every moment that I'm alive. It's funny, I count the things I'm grateful for, in every moment, and it's so funny how quickly I run out of numbers to use. I think it's of the utmost importance to reach out when you need it. Ask and you shall receive, and it'd be so wise to see that once you receive something, how much you can give that back to other people. So if you feel like reaching out or need somebody or something or a place to be, don't be shy to do that, okay? All that really matters is helping other people, doing what you love, because life is so short, You never know when it's going to end or how many moments you have. And you never even know, what could happen tomorrow or the day afterwards, but it's so beautiful. There is so much in every moment we can be grateful for. I would just say to people to be grateful for what they have, cherish the moment, to find beauty in everything, to understand how short it is. Life is but a flash in the cosmic drama, and before you know it, it's gone, so please have fun while we're here.